Hi, folks. It's Jim from New Hampshire Card Hunters, and we're back with another brand new video for you tonight. We're going to be opening up some 2022 Heritage hanger boxes. We've got 8 of them for you, as you can see right here, and hopefully, hopefully we'll be able to find something good out of there. Who knows? Maybe a relic, maybe an autograph, maybe a couple of refractors. We'll see. But in addition to, before we get going, I just want to let you know that we're going to be doing our On the Docket segment tonight. And what we'll be talking about is what everybody's talking about, and that's the Rafael Devers recent trade to the Giants from the Red Sox. And as Red Sox fans, we have a real interest in that. So we will be talking about that in our middle segment of this video. And one other note before we get going, everything you see here, all of these hangers, every card in these hangers is going to be given away. It's all free. Every card, every relic, every autograph, and so on is going to be given away. We'll split the cards up. I think there's about, let's see, 35 cards per hanger. So that would be 70, 140, 280, 280. So 140 cards per. We'll split that up into 2 lots of 140 cards, and we'll split up any relics or autographs or anything like that that we get between those 2 lots. And all you need is a PayPal account. Leave a comment, and you don't have to be a subscriber. You don't have to be a channel subscriber or a Patreon subscriber. We'd appreciate it if you'd like to be a subscriber, but you don't have to be. But give us a like and leave us a comment, and in that comment, just say drawing, and you're good to go. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into this. We'll take a quick look at the 2022 breakdown of Heritage here. So let's get after it. Okay. Okay, as you can see here, hang on a second, folks. As you can see here, this set is approximately 500 cards, and 401 to 500 are the short prints. They're about 1 in 3 packs. You also have the Chrome editions, which are 100 base subjects, and they also have multiple parallels of the refractors. This one you can see right here is the base one, and that's numbered to 999. We also have some base parallel base parallel breakdowns, and we've got the red border, black border, and flip stock. Flip stocks are 5 copies, as most of you probably already know. Black borders are numbered to 50. We also have the chrome parallels, which are some will be in the retail here on the hangers. Others will not be, like the gold border, what's in the hobby, and so on. So you got the main refractor, red border, silver border, green border, and so on. We have those. Now, the inserts are kind of interesting. We got the baseball flashbacks along with New Age performers, news flashbacks, which are notable news events during 1973, and then and now. So it compares the past and the present talent. Looking a little bit further down the line here, we've got always the popular pull here is the Topps Heritage autographs. And along with the single, we also have the Real One Special Edition autographs, Real One Dual autographs, and triple autographs. How'd you like to pull that Johnny Bench, huh, Michelle? That'd be nice.
Yeah, but we're giving it all away, so
I know,
it wouldn't
I
be
know.
for us to keep.
No, but it would still be fun to pull.
It would be very fun to pull.
We also have the 2022 Topps Heritage Baseball relics and / auto relics. You can see here is a nice example of Hammer and Hank and the boys, Acuna and Freeman. So that wouldn't be so bad either, along with the Clubhouse Collection autographed relics and Clubhouse Collection dual autographed relics. One other nice set of relics here, are the flashback relics. Pretty tough to find, but hey, we'll be looking. So,
Hey, keep
but
our eyes will be peeled.
yeah, the box toppers, they're in the hobby, so we don't have to worry about those. And just looking at the checklist real quick, the guys we're going to be looking for, the big ones. It's not a huge list, but you got T.J. Friedel in there, Jaron Duran, Luis Heel, Cal Raleigh, Wander Franco, who's no longer with us right now. He would have been one of the big ones. And then you got Shane Bars, Brandon Marsh, Gavin Sheets. There's a few others in there. Notable names, guys that are, let's say, good ball players,
Right.
just not superstars. And so with that, we'll get rolling here in just 1 second, and we'll get after it. All right, let's slide these over a little bit so we get a little bit of room. Stack them up. So hope everybody's doing well here. We've got the First Lady of Baseball with us, Michelle, to join us along for the ride. It's kind of a rainy one here in our neck of the woods. It's gonna get real hot, I guess, coming up. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Humidity won't be too bad. All right, let's get after this first one here. So we just got done watching the Red Sox game with the Mariners. Took two out of three from that series, which was nice. We had our big horse, Garrett Crochet, on the hill. He looked pretty good, huh, Michelle?
He's tough. He's tough. I know a lot of people who don't normally get a chance to watch him. Depending on their game that they do watch. I heard someone who will remain nameless say, I don't really see it. I mean, he's good, but I'm like, you're not watching him enough. He's not just good. He's dominating. He's an animal. He just, yeah. I don't know what they were looking at, but we love him. We'll keep him.
Yeah. And a big home run by Story today. It was.
Oh, absolutely.
That was a big one. I mean, how about Marcelo Mayer? Huh? Man.
Mayer's, yeah, he's the real deal.
He's got a sweet swing.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Calm presence.
Oh, without question.
So calm.
Without question. All right, let's dive into this first one here, and we'll do 4. Then we'll take a break. We'll talk about the Devers trade, and then we'll get back to the cards. So we got the Soler home run. Leaves the building. World Series. And Matt Manning. Obviously, the good stuff, we'll see where it's going to fall. I believe it's in the middle, but I don't remember on all these Heritage releases. VR. And there's Ronald Acuna Jr., who's absolutely tearing it up right now. He's at about 390. Hit another home run today when I just saw the previews.
Yep.
Highlights, I mean. And on Bellinger Blast, another World Series card. What else we got here? Andrew Simmons and Zach Gallen. Votto, Luis Ariz. I'm just going to drop this camera down just a whisker. I had it up a little higher so you could see in the intro, you could see see what we had, see our hangers there. Marcus Semien, Cole Urban, Joe Ryan, Matt Olson, Max Muncy, Pineda, Chas McCormick. I might have to adjust that a little higher. I thought I had it right, but maybe not.
He's very picky, folks, if you haven't noticed that.
All right. I think that's a little better. Michael Taylor, Zanuno, Willie Adames, and Christian Javier, Sean Murphy, Mike Moustakis, Jan Moncada, Nico Goodrum. We got something turned over here. What do we got? Looks like a short print. Yep, it is. Andronzia. Wow. Okay. Kyle Muller.
Hey.
Look at that. Kyle,
I was
wow,
gonna
look
say,
at that. I almost
Jim,
went right
hello.
by it. I almost went right by it.
It's a good thing
How How do you like that, folks? Right off the bat, look at that. Nice
My,
Kyle Muller autograph. Not a big name, but wow. First hanger box
an
pulls an
auto.
autograph.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
goodness gracious. Wow. All right, let's get it. Let's get it.
I thought he was going to breeze right past that.
I almost
folks.
did. I
Holy
almost did.
cow.
I almost did.
It's a good thing I said,
Yeah, I almost did. Wow. Okay, so there you go.
See,
Wow.
you can't just assume, folks. You can't just assume.
First hanger, one autograph. Look at that. Flashbacks, 1973, World Trade Center.
Mm.
Dedicated. Stephen Matz, DJ Peters, Jesus Lazardo, Edmundo Sosa, Matt Barnes, and Nico Horner. Good player. He's I don't know why they always have him batting like seventh or eighth in their lineup. He's a guy that's always on base, has a high average, and I don't understand any of that. Swanson's blast in Game 4 ties it, and then Tony Santillan. All right, wow, look at that, one autograph already. Okay, next one.
Set the standards high there.
Yes, we did. Always like it when we get the autos. Always nice. Not expected in the retail, but I never turn them down.
Nor should you out there, folks.
You know
These
the
are
rules.
freebies.
You know the rules. What are you gonna do? Keep saying it, video after video. We'll keep saying it. And I just like to add one thing to that is I see all these guys out there breaking product, but I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody out there giving everything away like we do. So, but if you do find somebody, please let us know. Leave us a comment because I'd like to know if there's anybody out there who
Who is also giving it away.
giving everything away.
Right.
You know. All right, let's get this over
Oh,
here a
that's a
little bit.
nice one.
Yeah, starting off number 2 here. We got 2021 runs batted in leaders. Duvall and Salvi
Salvi.
Perez. Yeah, not bad. Gavin Sheets, Dustin May, Garrett Cole. It's too bad. He'll be back next year. Lane Thomas, that's ACL. Not ACL. Tommy John.
Tom. Yeah.
Mason Thompson. We on him. Let's see here. Bo Bichette. Jordan Montgomery. Matt Olson again. Max Muncy. We've seen this correlation. Chaz McCormick. There's one of the rookies
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about. He's he's not a superstar, but he's a everyday guy that plays hard for Houston. He's a good player. Outfielder. Colin Moran. Tatis. And home run leaders. Albert Pujols.
Miggy.
Yeah. Miguel Cabrera. Nelson Cruz. 679 home runs for Pujols. Impressive. Jake Cousins. Eduardo Escobar. Kyle Tucker. Matt Duffy. Luis Heel. That's one of the rookies we were just talking about at the start here. We'll get him sleeved up. He's should be coming back here, I think, next month. He had a lat problem, I believe. Carson Kelly. Randy Rosarina. Now a Seattle Mariner. He didn't do much against us in this series, which was always appreciated. Thank you, Randy. Yoshi Tsuko. Connor Wong. And another short print right here of Christian Arroyo. Oh, look at this one. Then and now. There's Pop Stargell.
Wow.
Willie Stargell. Yeah. Well, he died young. He's a young guy when he died. It's too bad. And Adam Duvall. Hell of a player, though. Part of the World Championship Pirates teams. Rufned Odor and Joey Wendell, Zach McKinstry, Rich Hill, and boyhood photos. I love these. These are great. And the ones from 72 and 73 are excellent too. I might add, if you haven't seen the ones from 1972 or 73, they're awesome. And it's like looking back at some of the ones from 72 are like photos from like 1930. They're really old. But that's a good one at Trout. You know, the budding star to become. Is Gino Suarez and Justin Verlander. He just came off the IL. He's going to make a start here. And Willie Castro. So 2 down. I'm going to sleeve up the rookie for Luis Heel rookie. Let's get that one protected a little bit here. So 2 down. 1 autograph. 1 Luis Heel rookie. Let's see what number 3 is going to share with us as we work our way through these heritage hints. All right, number 3. You know, it's, I don't know what we, looks like we got something in there. I don't know what that is. You can only open it. Here we go.
I don't want you to open it.
No. Let's see what we got in this one. There's Nico again. Seen him a couple times. All right, let's see here. Nico, there's Swanson's Blast. Scintillan. And Dallas Keuchel. You know, Dallas Keuchel had a couple of good years. He wasn't really, you know, for let's say Houston and the White Sox too. He's a pretty good pitcher, but he was one of these guys that had to be very fine. You know, he had to have pinpoint control, and when he didn't have it, he got hit real hard. But Jacob deGrom, a guy that's yet to really realize his potential. And we got runs batted in, you know, Duvall again.
Here we go again.
Shows you how good a player Duvall was. I mean, he's a diabetic. He's a diabetic, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after we came up with us in 2023 or 2023, I think, he broke his wrist there.
Yeah. Oh,
Diving
that
for
was
that ball.
gruesome too.
Yeah, that was gruesome. Gavin Sheets, Trevor Rogers. And there's Hunter Dozier. Looks like he's getting ready to make the play. And Nate Lowe, Jorge Polanco, Tyro Estrada, Charlie Morton. Charlie's getting roughed up lately. Altuve, Andrew Vaughn. He got traded. That Savali trade. Aaron Savali. He wasn't happy that the Brewers decided to put him in the bullpen, so he demanded a trade. And they obliged. They traded him to the White Sox. Who they got in return was this guy right here, Andrew Vaughn. And I think Milwaukee sent him down to the minor leagues for now. He's another guy. He was a high draft pick. Never really blossomed yet. You know, he's still bumping around, but you know.
Still trying to find it.
Yeah, Colton Welker. Hey, he's still in the major leagues.
That's right.
Tommy Edman, Mullins, C.J. Cron, Rodolfo Castro, and Victor Robles. Victor Robles is he's really played well. He had that freak injury, and it cost him time. But he's coming back soon. It wasn't quite as bad as what they thought. They thought he might have to have surgery and miss the whole year. But
the polar bear.
The polar bear. Pavin Smith. Oh, look at this. Wow. Holy cow.
And it's Salvi.
It's Salvi again. We got him the last time. In the last video, we got a Salvi relic too. Wow, look at that. Nice. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite.
Such a great player
catchers,
too.
And just so low key and professional and just hardworking. Just yeah.
Wow. This has been
good guy.
Oh yeah, he's an all-star, probably a Hall of Famer. And
he's a gentleman on and off the field, from what we all hear.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't know him personally, but
take a look at the back here. Salvi Perez. There you go, folks. Huh? Clubhouse collection relic card. Wow, 2 nice hits already.
A relic and auto.
Yeah. And we got
nice rookie.
Another short print, J.D. Davis.
Yeah.
And flashbacks. I love these flashbacks. European Economic Community is formed. 1973. Yeah, Charlie Blackman. He just retired. He's in the. I think he's in the Rockies management somewhere. I think he's.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's in the front office somewhere. I think so. DJ Stewart. Don't hold me to that. I know. I thought it was something like that though. Tim Anderson is with the Angels. Not doing much right now. Profile. Michael Conforto. Bobby Bradley. Lance Lynn. And Gary Sanchez. Wow. All right, so we're gonna do one more of these, and I'm gonna take a little break. I tell you,
Jim's heart can't handle all
the
of
way
this.
the way they're coming out right now, I feel like opening up like
All 8 of them.
I have more than 8, but I feel like opening up like another 8. But we're not gonna do that. Not in this video. We're on a time stamp here. We want to move things along somewhat quickly. All right. But still,
That's a challenge.
yes, it
That's a
is.
challenge.
We've got so much to say, and we know how much you guys love hearing it.
Yeah.
You know, and we really appreciate the comments and the likes and all that good stuff, and the subscribers. I mean, it's really helping us out a lot. We appreciate that. Thank you, folks. All right, the fourth one here, starting us off. Here he comes, Gavin Sheets, who I might add. Let me just say this. He bounced around with Chicago. He really didn't play overly well with Chicago, but in San Diego, he has found a new home. And I'll tell you right now, I think he's got somewhere in the air. I'm going to say, I think he's got around 12 home runs. But still, I mean, he's hitting about 270 or something like that. He's a good player. I mean, and he's in the middle of that lineup. I think he's hitting 5th, so he's really helping out the Padres. And the Padres are playing real well right now. Sheets, Dustin May just came back recently. Garrett Cole again, and Lane Thomas. Hyunjin Ryu. We've seen these, so we'll Buster Posey.
Basta.
Oh boy, he's gonna be part of the conversation here and with the Devers trade. So stay tuned. And we got the home run leaders, and let's see, we got Vladdy, Savvy, and Fernando. How can that be? Why is Fernando Tatis? Okay, if they're tied, that's why the home run leaders in the American League has got set. Savvy hit 48 home runs in 2022, along with. I was wondering why we had 2 American League guys and a National League guy. Well, that's because these 2 guys are tied. Obviously, I didn't look at it that closely. And then, but Tatis, 42 home runs, not a bad year. Is that a checkered career so far? Hoy Park, Elvis Andrus, and Yordan Alvarez, the big cat. Sandy Alcantara. I'm waiting for Sandy to get going. Griffin Jacks, he's one of the rookies that's in this set. And look, let's be honest, Griffin Jack's a pretty good closer, pretty good setup guy for the Twins. They're struggling right now. Yasmani Grandal, Taijuan Walker, Colton Welker again, Edmonds, Cedric Mullins, C.J. Cron. I've seen these guys, so we'll move along. What we got? The Polar Bear again. Anything else? Doesn't look like it. Bummer. Alex Cobb, who is in his own right a pretty decent pitcher. So
There's another auto, Dad.
oh my God.
He almost missed it.
Oh
folks.
my.
He almost missed it.
Oh
Folks.
my. I was having so much fun with Alex Cobb. I didn't even see it coming. Do you believe this? Do you believe this? 4 hangers we've opened up. 4 right here. 4.
That's
2
an automatic
autographs.
walk.
2 autographs. And one relic out of 4 hangers.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Let me just do this. I want to look at the odds here.
The odds of that happening?
Yes, and the odds right here. Oh, let's see here. The odds are. I gotta look at this. The relics are. Let's see here. I want to find relics are 1 in 36, and the autographs are, I want to say 1 in 123. So there you go. 1 in 36 on the relics, 1 in 123.
And we've already gotten two.
And we've already gotten two. And I gotta trade this up.
And
Trade it up. Sleeve it up. Trade it up.
well, while you're sleeving it up, I mean, let's just take a look at that auto when he gets done. Like, would anyone know who the heck that signature was?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I know. This is a
It
big.
looks like Ella.
This is a big problem that I have with a lot of these guys. Right. You know, we mentioned this before on the channel, and I just want to.
I know, but that's really bad.
It is. It's look.
That's horrid.
If you, I don't know how many of you guys are over the age of, let's say, what, 35?
Yeah, probably 35, 40.
All of us older folks, all of us older folks took cursive writing in school. So we can all sign our name, we can all write in cursive, we can all read cursive. And I've always considered signing my name legibly as a way of, you know, showing that, you know, to people, hey, I have good cursive writing, it's legible, you can read it, you know who signed it. And with all of your older players, that's the way it is. With your younger players now, like Chas McCormick, and he's not the only one. Let's just be honest.
No, he's
here.
not.
There are I would say about 90% of the autographs now. You know, for anybody who says, "Wow, what a really nice signed autograph it is," well, I mean, look at that. Just take a look at that. But it is an autograph.
It is an autograph.
We will take it. It's Chas McCormick. He's a good player. Right, so we're going to add that to the list. But yes, Michelle, yes, thank you for bringing that up, by the way. All right, finishing out this hanger. I almost went by two of them. Two of them.
That's why I'm here, folks.
I know.
Details.
Right. Oh, my God. All right, Sears Tower completed in Chicago. It's awesome. What's it say about Sears Towers? The last steel beam was lifted to the summit of Sears Tower in Chicago. 1,454 feet, 110-story building. Wow, very nice. World's largest, tallest, 104 feet high. Higher than the Twin Towers of New York's World Trade Center. Pretty good. All right, Anthony DeSclafani and Devin Williams, Brandon Woodruff, D.D. Gregorius, Dylan Cease. His name's been getting tossed around lately in the trade rumors. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who's on a tear right now. He's ripping it up. DJ LeMahieu. Great. One thing I like about DJ LeMahieu is he's one of these guys who puts the bat to ball. He can hit to all fields. He showed it against us in the Yankee series, even though the Yankees lost 2 out of 3. This guy rarely strikes out, puts the ball in play all the time, hits for a reasonably high average most of the time, if not all of the time, and is a classy player, can play all over the place, second base, shortstop, third base, first base. You can put him anywhere, and he's like a Swiss Army knife. Finally, Atlanta wins World Series. Look at that. There's Freddie right there. What a great player. All right. So there you have it. We have, so far, 2 autographs, McCormick and Muller, and Savvy in our first 4 hangers. Not too shabby. But now it's time to talk about our middle segment, which is called On the Docket. And I know a lot of YouTube channels have talked about this. Specifically, I saw it on Nomaz Cards and Spitballing Cards, who were talking about this trade, and they gave their analysis. Some I agreed with, most I didn't, and we're going to get into that right now. We're going to talk about this trade. So, for the record, we will just go over the trade details first, and then we'll talk about the trade in detail and how we got there. So, To the Giants, obviously goes Rafael Devers. Good power hitter, a guy that hits you probably 28 to 30 home runs a year, probably knocking 80, 90, 100 RBIs, hit you 270, 275, but he is a DH. I would call him a average third baseman. I think that's fair. And he's a left-handed bat, which many times, depending on what the teams are looking for, they want a power left-handed bat or a power right-handed bat. In this case, the Giants were right-handed heavy, so they wanted a guy like Devers to offset some of their right-handed power or their lack of left-handed power in their lineup. In return, the Red Sox got Kyle Harrison, who I really like. I think he's a good player. He was an all-star. He was well. Let me back up 1 second here. He was drafted in the third round by the Giants, and in every level of minor league baseball, he was an all-star. He's only 23 years old. Right now he's 9-9 overall, but this year he's 1-1 and with a 4.56 ERA. But he's got all the tools. 6'3", throws hard, more strikeouts than walks, averages more than one strikeout an inning. Really good prospect. And I think he's going to be a real big star in Boston. Obviously, the Red Sox really don't need him in the rotation right now with the way it's set up with Bayo and Crochet and the rest of Bueller, those guys. So we really don't need him right now. That's why they sent him to AAA. We also got back James Tibbs, who was a 13th overall pick last year, I believe, in the first round. We also got Jordan Hicks, who's a back of the end of the rotation guy. He would be a guy that throws you pretty near 100 every time. Good closer on the back end, setup guy. He came up with the Cardinals, got traded to the Blue Jays, and now he's with the Giants. Tried to make him into a starter, but obviously that wasn't going to work out. He's never really been a starter, but they thought he had the tools for it. So I'm sure the Red Sox are going to use him as one of the setup guys to offset or maybe work alongside with Chapman and Weissert and Whitlock and Slayton. So it's a pretty good back of the end 7, 8, 9, 7, 8th, and 9th inning rotation there. So, and the one final guy we got was Jose Bayo, who's a flamethrower. He's in single A right now, another reliever, high octane guy. So we got 4 guys plus the kicker here is that the Red Sox didn't have to take on any salary. Now, our analysis here is that from where we stand, I will just explain to you how we got here, how Devers ended up being traded. And this all started in spring training. And in spring training, the Red Sox signed Alex Bregman. Now, I'm sure all of you know who Alex Bregman is, and you know what his talents are. He's a third baseman. He's a Gold Glover. He's a phenomenal defensive guy. And when this all went down, Devers was taken aback by what conspired with it kind of caught him off guard with the free agent signing. And so Devers decided he was very upset about it. And when they approached him to talk about him going to DH, he decided that he wasn't going to have any of it for a while. And made a steadfast line in the sand that that was his position. He was going to keep it, and he deserved to be there because he was told by management that was his position. Later on, maybe, I don't know, 3 weeks later, after management had spoken to him and Alex Cora, the manager of the Red Sox, had spoken to him, he decided that he would play along and he would go to DH. But I think he went begrudgingly. I don't believe he was real happy about it, and he took exception to many of, let's say, what management was, the messages that management was trying to get across. So, he took it to heart and he decided, but he was still going to play through it. And he took on the DH role, and where he was a pretty good player for us until our first baseman, Tristan Casas, got hurt. He blew out his leg. And management went to him once again and said, okay, Rafi, we really need you to play first base here. And Rafi, who was already hurt from having third base taken away from him, decided that he didn't want to play first base. Now, these are the internal discussions going on. This is what was being played out throughout the course of, let's say, the start of the season until now. And as time went on, you could see that both sides were still far apart on him going to first base. And he was still angry about it. And so, after several tries, I'm sure by Alex Cora and maybe calls from Sam Kennedy or Craig Breslow, to no avail, to get him to go over to first base, where he refused to go, the Red Sox brass flew out to Kansas City. And they met with Rafael Devers personally, Breslow, Alex Cora, Sam Kennedy, and John Henry. And they had a conversation. And what came out of that conversation, nobody really knows. But the message that was communicated to everybody was that they just wanted to remind Rafael Devers that they wanted to be a good team player, they wanted to be a good teammate, they wanted to do what's best for the team. Well, obviously, the Red Sox management didn't like what they heard, because Rafael Devers decided that he wasn't going to go to first base. So at that point, there was a line drawn in the sand here, and it was pretty evident to anybody who pays attention to the Red Sox that most likely at some point in time he was going to be traded. We didn't know when. We didn't know if it was going to be this year or next year. But we felt like the game was afoot. And as time went on, the team sort of went up and down, and they just really didn't have any consistency in the way that they played. And finally, as they started to get hot, and we swept the Yankees to have 5 in a row, right after that game, they announced the trade, which I think caught me off guard. I don't know if it caught you off guard.
Totally caught me off guard.
I mean, when someone told me at work, they said, Rafael Devers just got traded, I'm like, what? What's going on? What did I miss here? Because I'm usually the first guy to find that stuff. And I saw the trade details come down, and I'm like, and people asked me what I thought of it, and I said, well, I'm okay with it, really, because I understood where this whole fiasco was at, this whole standoff was at. And I got to tell you, folks, as a person who played at a high level, I played in the MSBL leagues. I traveled with all-star teams. I played with minor league ball players and Division I college players. And I can tell you to a person that every guy I played with, every single one, would have played any position to help out the team. Every single one of those guys. And these are guys that played in the minor leagues. I had one guy who I played with. His name was Bobby Netto. Bobby played, was in the Navy, traveled with the Navy All-Star teams, who were really extraordinarily good. And Bobby was a first baseman. And I can tell you that Bobby, when he started playing with us, Bobby was a little bit older. He was probably in his, late 30s. And even he was playing all over the place. Okay, so this guy was a tremendous hitter, right-handed hitter, power hitter. And I just want to say this for everybody's, knowledge, that if you're part of a major league team, if you're part of any team, any baseball team, minor league, MSBL, whatever, high school teams. You know, these guys, most guys that you will find can play multiple positions, and I will give you some
Makes you a better ball player.
right, and I can tell you that right now that there are plenty of guys in the major leagues that have played many positions, and I'll give you a couple of examples. Just look at Mookie Betts. Okay, when Mookie Betts came up with the Red Sox, he played second base for a while. Then they needed him in the outfield. He went out to the outfield. He reinvented himself. He became an elite right fielder, sometimes playing center field. Okay, and then when he went to the Dodgers, he's playing shortstop. Okay, so I don't want to hear anybody saying it wasn't fair to Rafael Devers to that he didn't want to play first base, or everybody's being too hard on him. No, no, it's he's getting paid. He's got a 10-year contract with like 7 years left on this contract from the with the Boston Red Sox and now the Giants to play in the major leagues. And one of his jobs is as an infielder, that he should be able to go over to first and help the team. David Ortiz did it. Carl Yastrzemski did it. Okay, Yastrzemski played in 1975 after playing years in left field because he was a left fielder and an all-star left fielder. He was a guy that hit over 400 home runs, over 3,000 hits. They shifted him to first base. Did he complain about going there? No. You know why he didn't complain? Because Jim Rice was playing in left field. That's why. And when Jim Rice got hurt, he got hit by a Vern Rule fastball, broke his hand, going into the playoffs against Oakland, who was the odds-on favorite to win the World Series. They asked Carl Yastrzemski to go back out to left field and play first base in the playoffs. And what did Yaz say? He said, "No problem. I'll go back out there." And all the reporters asked him, "Well, you haven't played out there all year. You think you're gonna have any problems out there?" He says, "No problems at all. Watch me." And he went out and put on a clinic in left field. So I'm just gonna say this right out straight, that I don't think Devers is in the right here. I think he should have gone to first base if they needed him, even if it's only temporary. Just go there. Just do it. They're paying you the money, okay? And so that's the one problem that I have with Devers, and that as a team player, you should be willing to help your teammates out. That's what the 26 men do on this team, on any team, and it shows that there's communication. It shows that there's trust. It shows that there's faith in each particular instance, and
Yeah.
I just believe that this trade had to be done, and
There's that intangible part of being a team player, and that is chemistry. You can have phenomenal athletes all over your team, and if they're not supporting each other and they're all in for themselves, you're not going to win a championship. You're just not going to do it. You need to have that team chemistry. And, it frustrated the crap out of me when he started whining immediately about, "No, I'm not going to DH. I'm a third baseman." No, guess what? You signed a contract. You're not in charge. And that's the problem with some of these, I want to call them younger kids, but he's not a younger kid.
28.
He's 28. Grow up. At some point in time, you signed a contract to play for these people. In that contract, it said you were a Red Sox. It didn't say what base you were going to play, and there was no guarantee. The people that told him, they're moved on. They're no longer there. Come on, wasn't it Chaim Bloom that said you're our third baseman? And Bloom, who got shafted, by the way, Bloom's gone. So now you've got new management.
Right.
You got new upper level guys. How many millions of dollars do you need? And you're whining about
It's silly.
it's just so immature. I mean, isn't his nickname wasn't his nickname Cainto or something like
Yeah,
that?
something
Meant
like that.
baby something.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, baby is right.
Baby bull or
Because,
something like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
he was being a baby. And then, it was bad enough. I mean, come on now. You're not going to beat out Alex Bregman for third base. I mean, a blind man can see it.
Right. He's superior.
So, yeah. In so many ways, defensively. Offensively, Bregman's more of a contact, average hitter with power.
Yep.
But I tell you, you take defense, take mindset, and Bregman's head and shoulders in both categories.
Well, there's a little bit more at play here, and what I would point out is that I think Alex Bregman wanted to have more connection with the team, but he didn't want to step on Devers' shoes when he got here. And when they asked Alex Bregman about third base, Alex Bregman said, "I'll play anywhere. I'll play second base, I'll play shortstop, wherever you need me, I'll go out and play." But the bigger issue here was that Alex Bregman respected Devers because Devers had been here a long time, since 2017.
Right. It was his team.
It was his team, and he didn't want to step on his shoes. But Bregman also understood that he had a young core here.
Mm-hmm.
And if Rafi Devers infected some of these guys with, let's say, a bad attitude, that might lead to bigger problems for the organization.
And it started.
So that's when he started talking about Buster Posey. And this, by the way, folks, this deal was ongoing for about 3.5, 4 weeks. That we didn't even know that it was transpiring. But it was about 3.5, 4 weeks of conversations between Buster Posey, who was the GM for the Giants, and Breslow for the Red Sox. And so a lot of people talked about this and said, "Oh, this is a salary dump. Oh, this is Boston's just being cheap." And look, just to be fair here,
We've seen that.
I'm one of the
before.
biggest critics of Red Sox management. I don't like it when they didn't go out and sign people. I didn't like it when they got rid of Betts, but I understood why Chaim Bloom was in that position, because John Henry told him, "You need to get rid of this guy," because they wanted to send Betts down the road. Now there was the inclination or the idea, I think, and I think it's true, that Betts didn't want to stay in Boston, that Betts wasn't going to sign in Boston because of the way that the management had sort of jerked him around a little bit. So if that was the case, and I believe that it was, now he said that wasn't the case, but I don't believe that. I think that he was bound and determined that he was going somewhere else, and he didn't want to stay in Boston anymore. And so the Red Sox made him an offer. They offered him 10 years, $30 million, $300,000, and the Dodgers offered him more. But anyway, beside that, the management here has been questionable at best. All right, and I really didn't have a lot of faith in this organization until they traded for Crochet, and then when they signed Crochet, they brought in Bueller, they brought in Bregman, and made some positive moves. I felt like, okay, when you sign a guy for $40 million, I think you're pretty serious here. I don't know as if any organization goes out and says, "Hey, we're just going to spend $40 million on a guy, and just for the hell of it, just because we feel like it." Nobody does that. No organization in their right mind
Especially
does
not the Red
anything like
Sox.
that. And so, but getting back to the core here, I think Breslow was worried about the effects that he might have on that young core. And by the way, it is a really good young core. How well they're going to, how high the ceiling is on these guys can be, I don't know. But I will say this: they're pretty darn talented, and
They're fun to watch.
they're fun to watch, and I think they're only going to get better. So this deal took 3.5, 4 weeks to come together, and when it finally did, it was a quote unquote shot across the bow. Now they talked to some former Red Sox too, and I just want to point out what David Ortiz said about this. And let's take a quick look at that. I just want to.
Yeah, because it speaks volumes.
It does. I just want to bring this up because I think it's important that people understand, from David Ortiz's standpoint, what this scenario was and what he thought of the whole thing. So, as you can see, they talked to David Ortiz about the trade, and he knew it wasn't going to end well. And some of the things he said, and I'll just read it for you. I played for the Red Sox a long time, Ortiz said on Monday. You think everything with me and the Red Sox was roses and flowers? I went through some tough times also, but I was mature enough to understand and keep things internal. Even in the best families, between the best brothers, things happen. You need to have the maturity to resolve the problem and move on. Michelle, your thoughts on that?
I think it's well spoken. That's, yeah, keep going.
Okay. Well, I want to find the part here where, because I don't think we don't need to really get too far into this, but it says, let's see here. Let's see if I can find.
Right there under his picture. Yeah.
Right
Speaking to reporters,
Yeah.
the kid was asked in spring training to just hit, and now all of a sudden you want to switch him over. It takes time.
Right. Right.
He tried to defend Devers and his point of view.
Yep.
But in the end, it says the organization is always going to be there.
Right.
Players come and go. As a player, sometimes you've got to put up your ego aside, understand that once you get paid, you got to find a way to do what you're told.
Right. And I think this is the most important part right here. Sometimes you have to put your ego aside and understand that once you get paid, you've got to do what you're told, And look, I don't think anybody would say, I mean, well, if it were me and I was getting $30 million a year, if they said, "Hey Jim, can you go out and rake around first base?" I said, "Hell yeah." I mean,
well,
I mean, it's not. I know I'm being a little candid here, but you understand where we're coming from here, And look.
And I just think it sets a bad example for all those young kids that we've got coming up through the system.
Right.
And, Poppy said it. It sends a bad message to the young kids that they have the power. No, you don't. You're not signing the paycheck. You're getting the paycheck.
Right.
And you do as you're told. I mean, even for crying out loud, John Henry flew out to talk to him. And that doesn't happen. That's not the norm. That's not normal. And when we heard about that, Jim was saying, "Oh, something's going on."
Right.
The management's not just going to go fly out to talk to him in the middle of a road swing.
Right.
No.
Right.
So, it caught us off guard because I think we didn't expect it to happen so quickly, but at the same time, it's been coming along for a while. So really, was it that quickly?
Right.
And
it goes on to say, the organization is always going to be there. Players come and go. As a player, sometimes you've got to put your ego aside and understand that once you get paid, you've got to find a way to do what you're told. That's the message for all young players who think they turn out to be bigger than the game. I'm not saying that Devers was like that. He's humble. He's a good kid. But sometimes when you're young and immature, you don't realize that. He says, I'm not saying the Red Sox did everything right, but you have to give the club the benefit of the doubt. They're not trying to make the organization look bad. They're trying to make good moves that sometimes they don't have the opportunity to explain. And I'll leave it at that. I mean, nobody likes every move that, let's say, Craig Breslow was going to make or Chaim Bloom made. I didn't like all the moves that he made. But you have to also understand that
It's a business.
it's a business. And look, with this whole salary dump, and let me just back up one minute and talk about Verdugo for a second, because this is a problem that was it reared its ugly head earlier too with Alex Verdugo, who wasn't hustling, right? And look, I blame Cora for part of this too, because he didn't police Devers either. When Devers is basically walking down first base, that's a problem for me.
And then you call out Doogie.
And I got to tell you, if I was the manager of that team, I would have had a conversation with Devers, and then I would have benched him if he did it again. That would have been the end of it. But he benched Verdugo, and then they sent Verdugo on his way. They traded him to the Yankees, right? Because what did they want? They wanted the culture of this team to be different. They want this team to be a winning team. They want this team to have as much talent on it as possible and versatile as possible. So for every guy out there, every naysayer out there says this is a quote unquote dumping of salary, I would disagree. And I will just say this for the record, so you can come back and say I was wrong or I was right. I think I'm going to be right on this, but I could be wrong. Let me just say this. I may be right, but I'm never wrong. I may not be right, but I'm never wrong. There we go. I may not be right, but I'm never wrong. All right. So I think the Red Sox are going to make at least a couple moves here before the deadline. I don't know how early, but I think they're going to go after a power hitting first baseman. And I think two of the guys that they're going to trade here is going to be Wilyer Abreu and Tanner Houck. That's going to be part of the package. There may be a couple other guys in there, but they're going to make some moves. They're pitching heavy right now, especially starting pitching heavy, and they got a lot of outfielders. I think those are the two guys that are going to go. And look, if you're a team out there looking for a left-handed bat and Wilyer Abreu, who's a Gold Glove right fielder, looks pretty enticing to me. And if you want an all-star pitcher in Tanner Houck, who was an all-star last year, that's not a bad move either. So I don't think by any stretch of the imagination that the Red Sox are done. And if you listen to Breslow, and I know he says a lot, and I know sometimes they don't follow through on this, but when he said, I believe him this time, he says, by no stretch of the imagination are we done. Are we throwing up the white flag? Are we throwing in the towel? We are not doing that. We're going to be looking to make this team as good as possible. We're in it to win. We're not in it to finish fifth place, in our division. So
yeah, I think if they end up in the cellar again, Cora has got to go.
Oh yeah, no question.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to breaking.
All right, so
Sum it up.
As you can see, as you listen to us, you can see the whole scenario. You understand the whole scenario here and how this deal got consummated and what the reasons were for it happening and what we think the payoff is for each team. Obviously, the Giants, who couldn't get anybody to go there, are related because now they've got a big bat in the middle of that order that they sorely needed. And look, for the record, I think Devers is going to be just fine there.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to get sent on your way, right? You get sent on your way to a different place, and it changes your whole attitude toward the game.
Yep. He may go on a horrific tear.
Well, we're going to see him, and we're going to see him in one day. So we're off tomorrow, but we're on Friday. We're going to see him. So we'll see how we'll get a first-hand look at him, folks, and we'll let you know what we think.
And I really, me personally, I hope he does fine out there. I really do.
Yeah,
I do too. He's done some good stuff for us.
Right.
But he just wasn't the right fit with the rest of this crew. Right. The way he was acting, he'd sit back, lounging.
It was time to go.
He was never at the fence cheering the guys on.
Right.
He was just sitting back, putting in his time.
Aloof.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't fitting in. So, goodbye.
It's time to go. When you refuse, listen, when you refuse to do anything that management wants you to do, you got to go.
Yep.
That's it.
Bye-bye.
I'm sure management didn't have a good time and wasn't very excited about trading him, but they knew they had to do the right thing.
Yep. And
So,
it was the right thing.
right. So, now that you understand the whole scenario, now that we've given you all sides of the story, we're gonna exit out of
On the docket
and move along to our next 4 hangers.
and let's see if we can get
I'm
some
like,
more
I'm like, oh boy, 4 more hangers.
more autos.
Yeah,
Another relic.
I'll
That's
tell
what I'd
ya.
like. I want another relic.
this is amazing. I mean, if we get anything else, it's, to me, it's a bonus
It's,
now.
oh yeah, it's just
I mean,
it's the cherry on top.
I don't know, but I'm hoping for more. We'll see.
I'd like to see another relic personally. It would be nice to put one auto and one relic in each
Oh, of
stack of
course.
140
Of
cards.
course. I
That'd
mean,
be awesome.
yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll
Who
get
wouldn't-
some Chrome cards too. You never know. Could get one of those in there. Yeah.
It's probably the better odds of getting Chrome card than the auto or the relic.
Yep.
But let's see.
All right. Starting us off. Here we go. Hanger number 5. Edwin Diaz, Josh Harrison, Liam Hendricks is on the IL for us. Xander Bogaerts, Josh Lowe, Robbie Grossman, Brian Reynolds.
It's sticking together.
Yeah, I'm not sticking, but a little stiff there. Christian Walker, and Yanni Hernandez, and Yordan Alvarez, Sandy Alcantara, Griffin Jacks. We've seen these before. There's Jesse Winker, and Santella, Dylan Moore. Just
There's
saw
your
him.
cousin.
Yep. Put these over there. Stack those up. Lewis Brinson, Reese Hoskins, Escobar, Kyle Tucker again. Let's see what's going to happen. Coming up to the good stuff. Luis Heel, another Luis Heel.
Yep.
Carson Kelly, Rosarina, Connor Wong, rookie. Nolan Ryan. Oh, Joe Ryan. I thought it was
I
Nolan
was
Ryan.
gonna say
for a second.
Nolan.
New Age Performance.
I've never seen the
Yeah.
hair that long
Well,
on
I know.
Nolan
Can
Ryan.
you imagine Nolan Ryan with hair like that? I thought that was Nolan Ryan for a second. All right. What do we got here? Anything else? Aaron Savali, Akil Badu, Ketel Mate. It's a good player right there. Having a great season.
That's an odd looking shot.
It looks like looks like the shortstop perhaps is getting out of the way. He's just trying to avoid the collision. Looks like got that double.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Real.
JT Realmuto putting the tag on him. Can't tell who that is. Yeah, I can't see the name, but good catcher for the Phillies. Manuel Margot, Chris Flexen, Miguel Rojas, Corbin Burns. All right. Just stack a little further over here. Give yourself some elbow room. Put the,
What year was Burns rookie? 20.
I want to say, jeez, boy, they all blend together.
I know.
I'm gonna say,
He wasn't too long ago. It's not a big deal. It just
2020 maybe. I don't know.
that-
Hang on, I gotta a little more on that. There we go. That's better. All right, number 2, well, or number 6, depending on how you want to look at it. So 6th one, second one of the second half. All right, let's see what we got in this bad boy.
not much in the last box, but that's all right.
Wow.
More
I
like we're
said,
expected to get.
like I said, I was hoping for one autograph, and we've got 2 and a relic so far, so I think we're doing okay. Starting us off, we got Hunter Renfroe, Josh Donaldson, Bobby Dahlbeck. He's in the Milwaukee system. He's fighting his way out of there, though. I think he's hitting like 260, 270, 6 home runs. Sammy Long, Herman Marquez, Chaz Chisholm. Just came back for the Yanks. Soler, game 5. Look at that. We saw that one earlier.
Yep.
Matt Manning, VR, Trevor Rogers. There's Hunter Dozier again, making the catch. Saw him. Lowe, Blanco, Tyro Estrada, and Charlie Morton again. Duve, Vaughn. Yeah, it's Glass now. We haven't seen him yet. Strasburg, he's retired. Peralta, Matt Verling, Brandon Belt.
Rafi, speak of the devil.
Rafi, there he is. There he
Speak
is.
of the devil.
Yeah, that's a good shot of Rafi too. You know, we're gonna miss him, no doubt. I mean, and we're certainly a less. Uh, we certainly hurt offensively because the loss of him. I mean, it's a guy that, like I said, hits you about 30 home runs a year. So we'll have to find a way to pick it up. And there's Duval, Grand Slam, Game 5. See what else we got here. We got Tyler Gilbert. And nope, nothing behind that one. Max Stassi, short print. Flashbacks, Watergate hearings begin. Oh man, this is
Wow.
this is a perfect scenario for where we're at right now in politics.
Crazy.
Yeah, Will Smith, Sanchez, Sean Manaea, and Aroldis Chapman.
There's our boy.
Yep. Shane Baz, there's a good rookie right there. There we go.
Yep.
Boy, he's got like 6 wins, I think, 6 and 3 or something
really
like
well.
that. Yeah.
He's having a good year.
He's got good stuff. He's a good pitcher. He really is. Slide him over. Jake McGee, Jesus Aguilar. Yeah, what do we got here? We have the 2021 rookie outfielders, Ramos, Greg Deichmann, and Brian Miller. I'm not real familiar with those 3 individuals. But there you have that to finish that one off. All right, number 7. Coming down to the finish line here. Folks, we want to thank you for stopping by and tuning in to our videos. We hope that you will give us a like. It really helps us out. If you want to be notified when we put new material up, just hit that notification button. Certainly let us know what you think about the Devers conversation in the comments. We'd love to hear that. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, if you think we're all full of it, then we don't mind hearing other people's perspectives.
Healthy debates are not bad.
They're not. They're not.
They're not bad at all. But yeah, and like I said, if
we have some pretty strong feelings on the subject.
Of course. Well, we get to see him every day too. Yeah. So I mean, it isn't like we don't watch this guy day in day out. So.
Right.
Simmons starting us this last one off. Next to the last one off. Seth Gallen again. Votto, Logan Webb. When he was talking to Kyle Harrison, when he found out that Kyle Harrison was going to Boston, he said, "You're going to be a star in Boston." Austin
Nice.
Slater, yeah, Severino, Paul Goldschmidt, his Goldie dad, yeah, having a great year for the Yanks.
Yeah,
boy.
he is. Where would they be without him?
Him and Judge.
Well, I mean, Judges wouldn't be nearly as effective without Goldie.
No.
And the other way around.
Right.
So, I mean, they feed off each other.
Kind of falafel, right? Luplow, Gurriel.
Although Judge is
Escobar.
a hell of a player.
Oh my God. Duvall, Jared Kelnick. This is the guy that we were talking about right here. That when Acuna, when he was dogging it down the line, and Sitnick there didn't police him that day, and Acuna went on to social media and said, "Yeah, if this was me, I would have got benched." Well, this is the guy right here, folks, and you know where he is right now? In the minor leagues. Yeah. So Phil Goslin, Cabrera, Juan Soto, Odorizzi, Santander, who is really doing not much of anything up in Toronto right now. All right, what else we got here? Goodwin and Nimmo. Taiwan Walker again, and another short print, of course. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got a now and then and now. Ryan Stanek. Yeah.
No bad player.
No. And then we got Tom Seaver and Corbin Burns.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a nice one to Tom Seaver. Yeah.
Yep.
Died of dementia. Seaver did.
It's crazy.
Terrible. Such a terrible illness too.
Yeah, it is.
And there's Tyler McGill. This is one of the other rookies that I don't think I mentioned him, but this is a guy that's a pretty good pitcher for the Mets, and I don't think he gets a lot of due there, but he's a good rookie and a solid pitcher. This is a good rookie card of him. And De La Cruz, another guy trying to find it. Lindor, Riley, and World Series again. And Ernie Clement, Enrique, Buxton, and Brian Hayes finishes that one off. And now we're coming down to the final hanger. So we shall see if we can.
Boy, I don't know how you stacked it, so all 4 of the front ones were really good. But
Yeah, I know. That was just crazy. I mean, just how they just kept hammering out at us. That was great. I loved it. I always like it when we can get the good hits for the viewers out there. And remember, folks, like I say, just leave a comment. Put the word drawing in there. And we'll put you in for one of these 2 giveaways of 140 cards. All right, let's get it to our last one here. See if we got anything good to finish off this bad boy. All right, VR, Cunha again. And we're going to go a little faster here because is there a cost? Unless we see some guys like Stremski. We haven't seen these guys yet. Harold Ramirez, Kikuchi, and Will Myers. Jose Barrios. Wow, is that Mitch Moreland?
yeah.
Wow, Mitch Moreland. Look at that. Oakland A's. He was on the World Series team. 2018 team. No, was it 18 or let's say 2000, 2004, 2007, 2013, 13 team, I think. 13 team. Yep. And Chi-Man Choi, Josh Bell, Goodrum, Tyler Mahle, and Pollock. Walker Buehler. See what else see if we're going to find anything.
His parents could not have known he was going to be a pitcher because there's no way he would have named him Walker.
Even Nola. No. Uh-oh. What do we got here? It looks like a little Chrome card, I think.
Oh, it looks like.
J.P. Crawford. And let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. O'Neill Cruz. Nice. Very nice.
There you go.
Very nice. That's right. O'Neill Cruz is in here, too. I forgot about him. Yeah. Nice. Nice shot of O'Neill Cruz there. And that's a nice chrome, and it is numbered. Yes, it is. 2673. So it looks like it's maybe a refractor. Yeah, looks like it. 673 on that. And the final few cards, Josiah Gray, Adam Wainwright, Contreras, stolen base leaders, Trey Turner, Whit Merrifield. Whit Merrifield, where are you now? Mm-hmm. Vidal Brujan, Lorenzo Cain. Hey, Shohei. That's the first time we've seen him, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, finally. He did make an appearance.
Does that get anybody's attention, folks?
I don't know.
You know?
What's this? Oh, just Logan Gilbert. All right. And finally, the last but not least, Charlie Blackmon.
Hey, not bad, folks.
So, yeah, let me just sleeve up the
refractor.
The chrome refractor of O'Neill Cruz here. And we'll go over this real quick. All right. So, first we'll go over a couple of the, well, I don't know, we'll just go in order here.
Yeah.
We don't have to go crazy. But
we did well.
We did pretty well. We had 8 hangers for everybody out there. Remember, only had 8 hangers. We got Luis Hill as a rookie. And then we got a nice refractor of chrome card of O'Neill Cruz, numbered to 673. And then we got not one, Kyle Muller autograph.
Whose signature is not too horrible.
It's not as bad as...
You can see the KY.
Right. And then followed by Chaz McCormick autograph. Real one autograph. Nice. And then a nice... it's unbelievable. It really is. It's a nice relic of Salvador Perez. And that's a good shot of him, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Finally followed up by rookies of Shane Baz and another Luis Hill. So, there you have it. We appreciate you stopping by. We're going to call it a day. And until next time, thanks for stopping by. And we will see you the next time. So long.